Kazakhstan is a global reformer recognized by many experts. The country is actively implementing the ideas of peace, harmony, stability and security. Kazakhstan's initiatives have been highly appreciated by the world community for many years. The initiatives include the Universal Declaration on a Nuclear Weapon-Free World, which was supported by the United Nations. Former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon says that Kazakhstan is a recognized leader not only in Central Asia but also far beyond its borders. According to Ban Ki-moon, Kazakhstan needs to continue implementing the planned and signed agreements, the Sustainable Development Goals and the norms of the Paris Agreement on climate change.
And I have very good reason to believe that Kazakhstan and her people will really make great strides for common prosperity and peace, not only in the region and in the global world. Kazakhstan has been one of the outstanding countries which has shown under the leadership of President Nazarbayev some very viable and workable and sustainable path for mutual prosperity. I am confident that Kazakhstan and her people will really make great strides for common prosperity and peace, not only in the region and in the global world.
Kazakhstan gained its independence 27 years ago. Over the years, the country proved itself as a successful republic, which established close relations with many countries. This year marks 25 years since Kazakhstan established diplomatic relations with Brazil. According to Brazilian ambassador to Kazakhstan, Marcia Donner Abreu, despite the considerable geographical distance, the countries have a lot in common. Brazil shares Kazakhstan's position on many aspects, including non-proliferation of nuclear weapons and sustainable development. According to Marcia Donner Abreu, the countries still have a significant potential for enhancing bilateral cooperation. Therefore, the Kazakh government officials prepared a roadmap consisting of 27 points aimed at strengthening the relations between the two republics.
We agreed on a 27-point roadmap of initiatives for possible cooperation and in strengthening of our ties, involving all sorts of areas, from economic cooperation to technical, scientific. We talked about agriculture, we talked about exchange of students, we talked about diplomatic, of course, cooperation.
The European Union is another strategically important partner which recognized Kazakhstan's independence 25 years ago. In the quarter century, Kazakhstan's cooperation with the EU was very successful. In 2017, trade between Kazakhstan and the European Union totaled about $23 billion, which is almost 40% of Kazakhstan's total foreign trade. Almost 60% of all foreign direct investments in Kazakhstan are attributed to the EU member countries. 3 years ago, Kazakhstan and the European Union signed an enhanced partnership and cooperation agreement. According to the EU ambassador to Kazakhstan, Sven-Olof Carlsen, the signed document will allow to reach a new level in bilateral relations.
EU member states and their companies, not only the big companies, but also small and medium-sized companies, will have a lot to offer. And with the new agreement, there will also be possibilities for easier access for Kazakh companies to the European Union's internal market, the biggest market in the world. So I think prospects are quite good on this basis.
Astana hosted a meeting of the Kazakhstan-US Commission on Enhanced Strategic Partnership. Kazakh Deputy Foreign Minister Yerzhan Ashikbayev met with the US delegation led by Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Bureau of South and Central Asian Affairs, Alice Wells. They discussed a number of key partnership aspects, including 5 agreements signed during President Nazarbayev's visit to the United States in January, Kazakhstan's membership in the UN Security Council, and the Republic's initiatives to establish security and stability in Central Asia. According to Alice Wells, the two countries have a large potential for expanding cooperation in the cultural, humanitarian and business areas.
Regional stability, including support for in Afghanistan, of convening Europe as well as more south corridors to be able to untap We're looking forward to our colleagues continuing what is a day-long series of discussions that literally touch on every aspect of relations, both bilateral and global. And it truly reflects, I think, the commitment and the desire of both of our countries to increase the partnership.
Foreign investors are stepping up their activities in Kazakhstan. A large Chinese state-owned company is set to start operations in the Kazakh automotive industry. The parties signed an investment agreement in Astana and will invest $1.1 billion in the joint venture. The partners are planning to increase production volumes to 100,000 cars. The partnership with the Chinese company is expected to create new opportunities for the Kazakh enterprise to increase its production capacities, boost the automotive industry development and the export potential. The partnership will become an important component of the Silk Road Economic Belt Road. We signed a document of historical significance which will contribute to the economic development of the two countries. As part of the joint project, we're planning to introduce the latest technologies, increase the local content and expand the brand portfolio. We hope that this partnership will be enhanced in the future.
The European Union is interested in enhancing cooperation with Central Asian countries. According to EU Special Representative for Central Asia, Peter Burian, the cooperation became more comprehensive as part of the EU Central Asia strategy adopted in 2007. The program was aimed at both sustainable development of the region and the support for individual Central Asian countries as well.
В 2007 году разработали и приняли стратегию по отношению между Евросоюзом и Центральной Азией. Но сейчас мы видим, что
We developed and adopted the European Union Central Asia strategy in 2007. Now we can see that our cooperation is developing more dynamically and there are new opportunities in Central Asia. We have started developing a new strategy and I appreciate Kazakhstan's contribution to the development of the new strategy. This strategy is aimed at supporting the sustainable development of the entire region and enhancing regional cooperation. Based on our experience, we believe that this cooperation is an important factor towards stability and sustainable development.
Сотрудничество. И мы считаем на собственном опыте, что это сотрудничество, оно очень важным фактором стабильности и устойчивого развития.
The updated EU strategy for Central Asia until 2027 is expected to be adopted next year. The document includes financing the priority programs and projects.
Мы для периода 14 по 20 год выделили.
We allocated additional funds for the period between 2014 and 2020. At the moment, this budget is estimated at almost 1.2 billion euros. As part of this cooperation program, we want to support implementation of national strategies aimed at sustainable development of individual countries and the region as a whole.
Национальных стратегий отдельных стран и региона по устойчивому развитию.
The European Union is set to strengthen cooperation with the regional republics in a number of areas. The priority areas include security and trade relations development.
A joint Kyrgyz-Uzbek project in cinematography was presented in Central Asia. A new film titled Dilbirim, based on Chingiz Aytmatov's story Red Scarf, has been recently released. The film is timed to the 90th anniversary of the writer. A complicated love story of Ilyas and Asil was filmed in Issyk and Namangan. A plot of Aytmatov's famous story has been moved to the present day, but the storyline has been fully preserved. The film is successful in the box office in Uzbekistan. Madina Talibek, who starred as Asil, was nominated the Best Actress of the International Festival that took place in Uzbekistan.
Чингиз Айтматов все произведения все любят. И фильм тоже, естественно.
People love Chingiz Aytmatov's works. The film will enjoy success in all cinemas of Uzbekistan. The reviews are great. Watching the film, you forget that the film features an Uzbek actor and a Kyrgyz actress. This is a big success for us.
Получился у нас фильм. Это большой успех для нас.
The script was written by Kyrgyz playwright Kiriya Zarlykova and directed by Uzbek filmmaker Sarvar Karimov. Kyrgyz actress Elina Abaykazı and Uzbek actors Ulugbek Kadyrov and Adiz Rajabov starred in the film. Main performers admit that after completion of the Dilberim, they decided to reread all the works of the great writer.
Честно, я не вживался, я просто чувствовал эту роль.
To be honest, I just felt this role. I did not play it. I just lived in the role. I hope the film is successful because I haven't watched it yet. I hope the Kyrgyz audience will also like it.
С Кыргызстана тоже, им тоже понравится.
The film, shot as a sign of friendship between two nations, will be shown in Kyrgyz and Uzbek languages. Previously, Dilberim had been filmed not only by Kyrgyz and Soviet directors, but also by foreign ones. In 1960s and the 1970s, the films like The Passage and I'm the Tanshan were released. Later, The Red Kerchief was shot in Turkey based on the same story.
Chairperson of the Kazakh Language and Turkic Studies Department of Nazarbayev University, Joly Shamiloglu, says that the 7 facets of the Great Steppe article by President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, is of global importance for the entire Turkic world. The article clearly reflects how many technologies are introduced by the world's Turkic descendants.
Это очень интересная статья, потому что это показывает, как история Средней Азии или Казахстана.
This is a very interesting article. It shows how history of Central Asia or Kazakhstan from the most ancient times has been giving modern and highest technologies to the world. There is a topic of metallurgy, ancient Turkic-speaking histories, and even origin of apples and tulips. All these things and technologies that exist on the territory of Eurasia and the Silk Road have been presented to the world. This is the most important conclusion.
Вещи или технологии, которые территория Евразии, шелкового пути подарил миру. Это самое главное заключение.
The article titled 7 Facets of the Great Steppe by President Nazarbayev will be an important document reflecting contribution of the Turkic people to the formation of world civilization, says academician of the Turan Academy in Uzbekistan and writer Kaidil Bek Seydanov. In his opinion, data on history of Turkic people and works on culture of nomads should be translated into English and other languages. This will contribute to the formation of an objective opinion on the Turkic world and the culture of nomads. It is important to collect data on famous personalities of the Great Steppe, to conduct archaeological excavations, and to consolidate information on paper and in electronic form in order to preserve this heritage for future generations. It is also important to translate these works into English. At the international level, it is necessary to identify contribution of the Turkic people and Kazakhs to the formation of world civilization. Kazakhstan is a country with a rich historical and cultural past. 17 to 18 centuries ago, people from the steppes of modern Kazakhstan had a great influence on the geopolitical map of the world of that era. Having conquered the territory of Germany, France, northern Italy, and the Roman Empire, nomads influenced civilization processes in Europe.
Kazakhstan has always been in the middle of the Silk Road. It has been of trading roads. Also, it had an old civilization. As the president emphasized, in fact, you were at the roots of, I would say, horse culture, horse domestication, which has been a tremendous development in those years, in those times.
Açıkçası biz çok heyecanla karşıladık.
Many documentary evidence about the life of our common Turkic ancestors and their unique civilization isn't public yet. They are kept in numerous archives around the world. Thanks to Nursultan Nazarbayev's initiative, the Archive 2025 program, which was put forward in the 7 Facets of the Great Steppe article, we can finally access these documents. A special research group will be created that can access historical data not only from Kazakhstan, but also from all Turkic-speaking countries.
Bir Türk dünyasının bir aksakalı gibi, bir abızı gibi bunu bize önermesi.
The sixth photo exposition, titled Attractive Xinjiang from the Magnificent China exhibition series, has been opened in Astana. The unique opening day is represented by works of famous Chinese photographers who showcases natural attractions, culture, folk traditions, and history of the province over the past decades.
Мы очень тщательно подобрали 108 картин, которые отражают...
We selected very carefully 108 paintings that reflect achievements made in recent years by the Zuar and beautiful landscapes, natural species, as well as the life of ordinary Xinjiang people.
А также обыкновенную жизнь, быт простого населения Синьцзяна.
A chronicle reflecting the current life of the inhabitants of this district is vividly conveyed on each canvas. Visitors can view the most modern production and places of antiquity of the Great Silk Road. The artist's idea is to show a particle of history and modernity of the amazing country. Imprinted moments give a fresh look at China and at changes taking place there.
Наши посетители благодаря этому проекту ознакомились с историей, с культурой, социальными и экономическими достижениями провинций Китая.
Thanks to this project, our visitors are acquainted with history, culture, social and economic achievements of Chinese provinces. We have very closely developed museum cooperation between our countries. This year, we opened an exhibition of the Golden Man in the Historical Museum of Shaanxi Province in the city of Xi'an. Approximately 200,000 people visited the exhibition. The event increased great interest among the Chinese public. Next year, we are planning to organize an exhibition of the Golden Man in the National Museum of China. We have agreed on the dates of this exhibition in April.
Национальном музее Китая. Мы договорились уже о сроках проведения этой выставки. Выставка пройдет в апреле.
A series of photo exhibitions titled Magnificent China, presented over the past 6 months, included 6 expositions. Works of Chinese photographers are devoted to various regions and provinces of China. Residents and visitors of the capital can visit the photo exhibition until the end of this year.
Studying and preserving the folk customs and traditions is one of the urgent goals in Kazakhstan. The revival of ethnic sports is especially important in the country. The country is taking many measures to promote them. The spokesperson of the Kazakh Association of National Sports says the organization intends to promote some of the types of ethnic sports to the level of mass sports. In April 2019, an international symposium of the Ethnosports Confederation and the World Championship of the Kazakh Games, specifically Kokpar and Jamba Atu, will take place in the country. Recently, Almaty hosted a meeting of recognized horse breeders. The meeting participants discussed President Nursultan Nazarbayev's recent article titled 7 Facets of the Great Steppe.
Ат біздің қазақтың тек қана айбары ғана емес, әлем алдында өркениетке...
Kazakhs were the first to domesticate a horse. Thus, we made a contribution not only to the history of our people, but also to the whole civilization of humankind. At this meeting, we will discuss the ways to develop national sports and popularize them abroad.
Өзіміздің ұлттық спортымызды насихаттау мәселесін бір ерекше жолға қоюды мақсат тұтып отырғандықтан жиналып отқан жиналыс.
Audarspach, a wrestling game between horse riders, is being revived and is gaining momentum in the Aktobe region. The equestrian sport started regaining popularity 13 years ago when a specialized school was opened. It has an indoor riding hall where children can train in the winter. The Aktobe horse riders have repeatedly become champions of Kazakhstan and Asia.
Аудандарда қазір командалық ойындар дамытып жатқан жігіттер бар.
My colleagues are developing the team sports in the region. When our school acquires a regional status, we are planning to open branches of the school in all districts of the region. We train coaches. Since 2008, our students have been competing in Kokpar, Audarspach and Qazquu. Now the ancient games of our ancestors are gaining popularity. We have 3 masters of sports in Audarspach. In the sport, Aktobe players are among the leaders. Horse riders have 30 thoroughbred horses. Children are taught not only to ride a horse, but also to saddle a horse correctly. A horse is an unusual animal. Over the years, I have learned a lot about them. They love vegetables and have a sweet tooth. They love sugar. I like taking care of a horse and I like to be in the saddle. Kazakh national sports are very popular among my friends.